What happened?
We have to.
There we go. Okay, you've already seen this slide before. But we give you a little bit of background. For those of you who are not well versed in bryophytes, they are amazing plants. And in California, we have the best bryophyte flora in the nation. And it's growing. And it's growing pretty fast. So first of all, we got about 60 mosses new for California in the last several years. Probably we have around 7 liverworts. Probably there's a lot more of that, but currently there's no active liverwort scientists working in California. So most of our liverwort work is being done by others around the world. The other take-home message here is that a large percentage of our California bryophytes are known from 1 to 3 occurrences. In some of the cases, as you'll find out, they're even super, super rare. Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, well, back long ago, when we did the California mosses and Madroño, back in 2004, we had pretty much an idea what we thought was in the state, and we listed these by the Jepson regions. And as you can see, based on this particular design, that the Northwest California and the Sierra Nevada, much like our vascular flora, has the greatest number of taxa. Not surprising. Better higher elevation, different precip, a lot of different geology. But also in this, there's some interesting changes. Back in 2004, there were a lot of taxa known from a handful of collections, and they were masquerading around by European names. So some things got sunk, some things got changed by taxonomy. And so these numbers, we probably had some things that were deleted, but now we're up here to 659. There's actually more than that. They're waiting to be described, but at the moment we're not sure what genus they go in. So we're doing some molecular work now to figure out where best to place them. The other take-home message here is you can see just about every place in California there's been an increase of discovery. And the amazing thing is, you can count all of the bryophyte collectors in California who have done any major collecting on one hand. Any of those who have made like 100 collections or more in a year. So it's pretty remarkable to think that we've made this much gain with only 5 persons actively collecting in the whole state. Think how many things are out there that we just haven't found. So that's one of the take-home messages. You're out in a lot of great places in California. We're in a great, great need of specimens because bryophytes are small, and while you can't identify many in the field, there are many groups that you really need to take them back and make a microscope slide to be sure. Plus, we actually need to have a voucher to document new records. The other thing I want to take home here for those from Southern California is right here. Nobody has done any work in here for decades. The reason why this is kind of interesting for the Sonoran Desert is because you get more monsoonal potential, so things that are found in Arizona or in Mexico could work their way up. And these could be refugia populations in some of these mountain ranges in the Sonoran Desert portion of California. So for those of you who live in the Southland, this is the place to go. If you want to double this number real quick, that's where to go. The other great thing about bryophytes, we're not season dependent. We should be going out right now, collecting. So, except for a few things that are kind of more ephemeral in the springtime, all the bryophytes can be seen once you go the snow line. So we can be collecting every month of the year. Now, we're not seeing very much in the Central Valley. Understandable, there's not a whole lot of it left that has not been converted. But there's many, many more things here in the Eastern Sierra, the Sierra Nevada, and the North Coast. Well, I've already mentioned we've got these 60 new species. So where are they coming from? Well, 21 of them are new to science. So just think about that in respect to our vascular flora and that percentage of new described species in just the last 5 years, with only a handful of specimens that are new to the state's flora. It's pretty remarkable. So, and there's also an indication here that there are certain families that are very speciose in California, and that's where we're finding a lot of our new species as well. So things in the Bryophyte, the Grimiaceae, the Potaceae, these are families that we have really large representations, and that's pretty much what we're starting to see here. The other group that's very speciose in California is a genus Orthotrichum, and we have about 40% of all the Orthotricha in the world are here. And there's more to be found for sure. And the interesting thing here, all this work is being done by my colleagues in Spain, because that's also a center distribution in the Mediterranean region for this genus. So they're describing many, many things here in California as they get to study more and more of the specimens in the herbarium. And just here's some more additions of these new species that have been described. You can see they're all very, very recently published. And again, Schistidium is a genus right here in the Grimiaceae. So that's another really important group that's formed mainly in sheetrock drainages along riparian systems. We also have these new additions to the California flora that are wide-ranging species, but they're rare in California. They may be in Asia, they may be in Europe. So here's just some quick examples. And a Cangium that's found primarily in Asia and also in Europe. A Nomadon, Nomobrium, is found pretty much in all the continents, but it's rare in California. Climacium dendroides, we have 2 occurrences in the state, and they were both found by Martin Lenz, who is here from up in Siskiyou County, who is currently working on a moss flora of Siskiyou County. So that's really, really great. So that was once reported for California. We deleted it because we had no voucher, and then Martin finally found it, and now we do. So we put it back on the state flora. Beltoni is a really special thing. We talked about the other day here about our fog forests, and this is a species that's a cloud forest species in the world. It's found in the Philippines and in Asia. I've looked at it in a variety of places in Africa, but it only has 1 occurrence in the US, and it's in San Francisco. It's on Mount Davidson. If you've been in the city in the summertime, Mount Davidson sits at about 1,000 feet, and it's in the cloud forest. And they're on the fine twigs of the shrubs and trees on that peak. There's 1 occurrence in occurrence in North America, and that's at Queen Charlotte Islands in British Columbia. And then after that, you need to go to Asia to see it. So that's pretty remarkable. How long it's been in San Francisco, it's kind of hard to project, but it's quite common there. The next species, Hedwigia ciliata, again, it's widespread. I just hunted it last month in China, but it's also known in central Mexico, and that would be our nearest occurrence. Hylocomium splendens is the stair-step moss. It's probably the most common moss in the northern hemisphere. It's really quite common in Oregon, Washington, and so on, but in California we have just 2 occurrences along the Smith River. Selageria doniana, I found this up on Marble, in the Marble Mountain Wilderness on the Klamath. The nearest occurrence to here is in Colorado. Tomenhypnum, there are 2 occurrences or so. Martin Lenz again found one of them up in Siskiyou, and the other one's in the Lake Tahoe Basin. It's found in fens, very wet, high-quality fens. Tetrodontium is a fantastic little moss, smaller than your thumbnail, mainly on volcanoes. So you kind of get an idea where we found this in California. Martin Hutton found this about 2 years ago on Mount Lassen. The nearest occurrence is Mount Rainier. Maybe it's on Mount Shasta if you start looking for it. We also have species new to California that are disjuncted continental scales. Now, it's not surprising with California and the Mediterranean climate that we would expect to have taxa from the Mediterranean, and clearly we do. Bartremia aprica is from the Mediterranean and Ethiopia, and it's here in California, and its sister species is in Chile and Argentina and Patagonia. Bryophyte, the nearest occurrence is central Mexico. This is usually found here in the blue oak woodland, so it's just a gorgeous brine. If you just got your recent copy of Madrono this week, you just came across Campylosthelium pitardii, new for North America, of course, was originally collected in the Mediterranean. And with it is another species, Campanostelium lagerii, which is a brand new endemic species to California. So we have two members of this genus in a family that no one would project or predict would be in California, in the Mojave Desert. So even that's even more hard to believe. So some of these mosses, they're in California, they're hard to project or to predict you're going to find them. So that's the reason why vouchering is so critical, because you don't know what you're going to find. This next one's a real super surprise. Cocinodon. This is known from 3 occurrences in the world. The type location in Pakistan, the second location in Mongolia, and just recently, the first North American collection in California on the crest of the Sierra Nevada on the Stanislaus National Forest. It's a spectacular plant. I hope to go back up there and try to find more, but it's about a 2-day hike to even get to it. So it's not like, people always wonder, or ask me, well, are these just like introduced exotics? You know, how do these things get here? They've been here for millennia. They've been here restricted to microhabitats, waiting for us to document them. So basically we have only a handful of bryophytes in California that can be viewed as exotics or weeds. And most of those are right in the fog zone, and they're like lawn weeds. So almost all of our bryophytes in California have been here for the long haul. And they've weathered every climate change that they've been exposed to. But most of them are in very, very small, isolated populations scattered on the landscape. And the key for us is to train our eye to see these microhabitats and to document them. So our scale of seeing things has to be really, really fine-tuned. Another example here on this Dimodon, that's again a Mediterranean taxon, Tortula israelis, I just found last year. That's not been confirmed by European botanists. And on the flip side, one of our common plants here in California, Metanecra manzizii, it has been found in Portugal. So it got named here first. So Lawrence mentioned, I really like Bryophytes. And these are species and plants that are seasonally submerged. And in California, we have a huge number of these that are found along streams and rivers. We also have a fantastic rheophytic vascular plant. If you just kind of think where you've been collecting and hiking along rivers and streams, a plant that has its roots in the water, and then the leaves come up and its flowers in the middle of the stream, and that's the Mara peltata. So most of the rheophytes of the world in the vascular world are in the tropics. But when it comes to rheophytes, most of them are in the Mediterranean climates here in California. So we named Scalarius escuensis. It was an endemic to southern Oregon, but we now have one occurrence in California. And the next two there are liverworts. And again, growing in these very, very wet places. So this basically the conclusion is, I'm really hoping that more of you will begin to collect bryophytes. They're easy to collect, no plant press is required. Just put them in a paper envelope, air dry them, make a draft label, staple the label to the packet, send it to us, and we'll name them and get them in the collection. But you will find things new to science. You will find things new for California. All we need now is specimens. So the FNA, we've got the first 2 volumes of the bryophytes are out. The liverworts are yet to come. But unfortunately, most of the world, people who are writing FNA for bryophytes don't live here, and they haven't been studying the California plants. So the habitat and the range for many species is incomplete, but we need voucher specimens. So go out there and get them. Thank you. Room for